Yakov Dzhugashvili, the eldest son of Joseph Stalin, lived a life overshadowed by his father's towering presence and the harsh realities of Soviet rule. Born in 1907 to Stalin and his first wife, Kato Svanets, Yakov's childhood was marked by tragedy. His mother died when he was an infant, and Stalin, absorbed in revolutionary activities, was largely absent from his upbringing. Raised by relatives in Georgia, Yakov grew up reserved and often unhappy, struggling to connect with his distant father, who reportedly regarded him with coldness and criticism. Despite this strained relationship, Yakov pursued education and eventually trained as an artillery officer in the Red Army. By the time Nazi Germany launched Operation Barbarossa in June 1941, he was serving on the front lines. In July of that year, near Smolensk, his unit was overwhelmed by the rapid German advance. During the chaos, Yakov was captured by the Wehrmacht, the greatest propaganda prize the Nazis could have hoped for. As the son of Stalin, his capture was immediately exploited for psychological warfare. German leaflets and broadcasts proclaimed his surrender as proof of Red Army weakness and Soviet morale crumbling. The Nazis also sought to use Yakov as a bargaining chip. In 1943, Adolf Hitler offered to exchange him for captured Field Marshal Friedrich Paulus, who had surrendered at Stalingrad. Stalin coldly refused, reportedly saying, "I will not trade a private for a field marshal." To Stalin, personal sacrifice for the state outweighed paternal instincts, though those who knew him later suggested the decision masked deep anguish. He never showed public emotion about Yakov, but in private he seemed haunted by the loss. Life in German captivity was grim for Yakov. Initially held in a special camp for prominent prisoners, he was later transferred to Sachsenhausen concentration camp near Berlin. His treatment was harsh, partly because of his symbolic value. Other prisoners recalled him as isolated, melancholic, and at times despondent. In April 1943, Yakov's life came to an abrupt and controversial end. German reports claimed he was shot while trying to escape. Other accounts insist he deliberately threw himself onto the camp's electric fence, ending his life in despair. Some Soviet sources later suggested he may have been executed, unwilling to collaborate with Nazi propaganda efforts. Stalin never openly addressed his son's death, but close associates noted that Yakov's fate left a permanent scar. The father who appeared unyielding before the world carried private grief that surfaced only in rare, quiet moments. Yakov's tragic story remains emblematic of the brutal costs of war and the often unforgiving demands of ideology over family.